Welcome to the show. We are live. We are live. And if you caught this live, you are either subscribed, you hit the bell thing, or you saw the tweet, or somehow you're going to make it for the next 30 minutes because it's going to be a short one, action packed, going to go through a lot, going to finally talk about the website I've been working on for past 2 weeks or so. I spent way too much time on it. Literally, I'm not spending more time on it. I think it's good enough. It's good to go. A fun project. So, I got some feedback on it a little bit before. I briefly showed some screenshots of it on Twitter, and I talked to some people about it too. Shout out to Crypto Vince. He's been helpful with it the last couple of days, especially too. And yeah, it's live. So I will put it. Actually, I don't want to put the URL. I don't want to tell you all the URL yet because I want to monitor to see if it's live, it's scalable, it works. It's built a little different way, so I'm not saying it's gonna crash or anything, but I've not tested it with more than a handful of people yet, so it'll be interesting. Anyways, PLS now. I will get to. I'm gonna get into the full story. I'm gonna tell you where it came from. We're gonna look at the code, look at the website, all that stuff, and it'll be great. Let me say hi to the chat super quick. What's up, PulseCoin? Appreciate that, man. Crypto Truth. Good to see you. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. Made it live. Stevie Son of Breeze, how's it going? Logie, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Armando, is it? I have not looked at the charts, and I'm glad I have not did that. So good. I'm glad that I've spared myself any kind of emotional response from that because staked, baby, staked. So that's one thing. Anyways, let's I'll drop this in the chat. I'm gonna start off by telling you kind of the origin of how I even came across this too. So shout out to Trillion X at Market Enemy. I came across this tweet again 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was intrigued. I was like, "Whoa, that's cool." I've been thinking of how to get access to blockchain data, or I've always had this. I've written some different scripts and tools and stuff, and this one really caught my attention because he was showing he posted a video of a command line terminal seeing these different DEX transactions and stuff. So he says live streaming a PulseChain swap transaction would use a tool like this if it had AMM features. And then talking about the different tokens and stuff that you saw came across there. And I was like, that is very interesting. And I was like, I wonder how he did it. So I started searching. I started, looking for different strings here. And, you see, I forget how eventually I came across it. And I was like, okay, I know where this came from. It is let's see, what is it? The Web3 Ethereum DeFi. So it's an open source code. So Web3 Ethereum DeFi. Yeah. So I came across that. And then I'll put this in chat as well. So this is a library for interacting with different things on Ethereum. And yes, so Web3 Python package provides high-level modules for smart contracts, ABI, prepackaged wallet management, JSP, all different stuff. So in there, I believe that was the screenshot was one of the code samples. So if you go down code samples, well, it didn't go down there, but if you go down, there's different examples, and they showed how to interact with the blockchain and can show you different transactions and all that stuff. So I thought, okay, let me download this library, play with it a little bit. So eventually I ended up forking. Let's see, I'll go over to the code. So if you want to get access to the code, I just dropped the code an hour or two ago. If you were watching the repo or otherwise have been checking out, you would see. So I dropped the code for the fork version. So that works for Ethereum, but I forked it for PulseChain to get it to work, which was, not big changes as far as getting to work with PulseChain. You just changed the RPC to get it to work with PulseChain, but then I did a bunch of other changes as well with my friend GPT. Pair programming with ChatGPT is a game changer. I've been in tech a long time. I did a lot of coding, and boy, this thing saves a whole lot of time, and it's just awesome. So, PLS Watch is basically, took this, forked it, took the Uniswap V2 swaps live. Shout out to this library and trading strategy AI and all this stuff. They really cool code, enable a lot of different scenarios and stuff. So fork this code, called it PLS Watch. So PLS Watch, essentially, you can see using it, you can look for all the Uniswap V2 DEX transactions. So this is V2. If you want V3 or other support, it's different library, all that stuff. I haven't investigated how to do that, but a lot of the DEXs on PulseChain right now are V2. There's some V3 launching, I think, as well. So this is V2, so it's not everything, but it's a lot of stuff. So, and again, maybe I can update it later to do V3 when that's relevant and all that. But right now, Uniswap, all that stuff, or not Uniswap, PulseX, all that stuff, a lot of different DEXs are V2. So again, you can watch all the tokens. You can watch for, this is command line version. So you can watch for just specific ones, like just look for hex transactions, stuff like that. I'll go through the instructions in a bit. So anyways, forked this code. And then you can see, I posted the link here since October 28th. So it's been almost 3 weeks since I started working on this. So this was the first, when I first got it up and running, forked it to PulseChain. This is the command line version, right? This is just a terminal, screenshot of a terminal that has a bunch of transactions going across it, and formatted in the way I wanted them to, and all that stuff. So pretty cool, right? And then as I was going, I was like, oh, I'll just post screenshots of like different stuff I'm doing with it. So this is when I first got into web browser. I'll talk about how I got into web browser in a little bit too. And if you have any questions, by the way, put them in the chat, because again, I'm going to make this one short, but I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. So this one is when I first got into web browsers, turned on code highlighting, doing the hex and PulseChain colors, linked to transactions, all that type of stuff. And then again, more progress, changing up the format a little bit, colors and stuff. And then this is when I started like highlighting certain. I actually took that, stopped doing that. I was like highlighting certain coin transactions and stuff, and I was like, I want to use highlighting for something else later. So again, I was just posting kind of updates as I went here, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I turned highlighting into, you can click a transaction in the box and then get it to highlight. Pretty cool, right? I thought so. So, it's getting more formatted. I'm putting more boxes and stuff. And then this one, about a week or so ago, I was like, kept running this bug that took me forever to figure out, and I was like taking a break from it. So this is when I added the logos and different boxing and different features and stuff like that. A lot of this looks simple. It looks plain and simple, but it is a lot of work. There's a lot of work behind it, even using the pair programming buddy like GPT. And then did I post a mobile version? Yeah, this is like a screenshot from mobile. I adjusted this. It looks a little better and stuff on mobile. It's just so much data, and it's not really meant for mobile, but I wanted it to look a little nice. So that is kind of where it came from. Now, I guess at this point, I can share the URL. Is everyone ready? Okay. I will put it in the browser. Drum roll, please. First time debuting it live. Let's see if it works. It is plsnow.net. Go, 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 go. Does it work? Does it work? I'll drop it in the chat. All right, loading. I've increased the font a little bit. Here we go. So when you first go to it, it'll take a second. It's trying to load transactions, trying to catch up, get all the browsers on the same page. It's like a bug I ran into before. When I was thinking about it, I didn't really architect it to everyone have the same view, and it took a long time to figure out, oh my gosh, like I need to change this and this to figure out how to do it. So here's the site. Yeah, appreciate that, Armando. Here's the site. You can check it out. Again, go to it, click around a little bit. Easter egg, if you want to know how it works, there's instructions. You just got to hover the mouse over the Pulse DEX transactions screen. So use the space bar to stop scrolling. So it's automatically scrolling 1,000 transactions at a time on the screen. And then you can highlight transactions. Again, this is just Swap V2 support for DEXs and stuff like that on PulseChain, but again, there's plenty of those. So get a lot of transactions from that. You get no guarantees of accuracy from the data. This was all built for fun. So if you click on a transaction, for example, click on like PulseX, it'll go and highlight each PulseX transaction. So you can go over here, click highlight. And if you want to look at it, say, okay, I want to look at this PLS transaction to go to UpX. You just click the link, and it will open up the Explorer on PulseChain, scan.pulsechain.com, and you can look at the transaction and all the stuff with it, and all the details, and all that stuff too. So you're getting a live stream of, there's probably like, I don't know, a few second delay or something, but a live stream of DEX transactions, Uniswap V2 DEX transactions coming across PulseChain. and you're getting them, that's counted. You can kind of, so chat, tell me, again, this is for fun. I don't expect like a lot of people to just sit here and use it all day and stuff like that. You tell me what you think this is useful for. And again, I'm not trying to, I don't want to copy DEX screener. I don't want to make a whole bunch of, I don't want to have all these data sources and all that stuff. But for me, I think it's interesting just for new onboards or whatever, to see traffic coming across, or just for fun. Like you can see like what's going on. Like you can see, of course, WPLS, it's involved in a lot of transactions. See a lot of DAI, PUSD, UpX, Hex, of course, in their USDC. This is like again, not 100% accurate. I'm sure it's, don't use this as like the data source for doing whatever stuff, but it gives you a view of the last 1,000 transactions that it's been watching. What is going on? Like what's getting all the transactions? Again, you can click on them. USDC, USDC. Click on it. It'll go highlight it. It'll take you through each one all the way down from the first one or the first of the last ones that's seen to all the way to the newest one. You click off the page to unhighlight, and then spacebar to stop scrolling, spacebar to enable scrolling again. And then you can scroll down. You can see the different ones listed here. If you scroll this little container deal, all the ones that had a little bit. And yeah, I think to me, it just kind of gives me an idea of like what's going on transactions on PulseChain. To me, it's what I like seeing it for. That's what I like using it for. Like one use case, just to give a snapshot of, hey, what's going on. And then again, if you see some crazy transaction, you see like $1 million USDC going into some coin, you can click on it and go investigate it, stuff like that. Shout out to Vince for the UI idea of that. I had the full transaction hash here. Again, that's what's cool about getting feedback. You don't quite know, like you need other people's perspectives and what, some stuff you just been heads down on it. You just don't recognize it, haven't seen it for a while, or you just need another opinion. He's like, oh, what if you truncated the transaction? I'm like, oh yeah, of course that would be better. You don't need to see the full hash coming across here. Just like, MetaMask and stuff does. You don't show you that full hash of your account unless you really want to see it. So again, chat, tell me, what do you think this is useful for? What do you think it's interesting? Again, for me, it's just for fun. I didn't make this to be like some like website. Oh, you go here to do this thing, and like this is a must-use thing. To me, it was like, I want to do more stuff with blockchain transactions. Like I want to see this stuff. Again, intellectual challenge for me. Like, can I do this? Can I take this? I haven't got into how it actually works. I'll talk about that in a minute. It's actually way different than most websites. But for me, it was just interesting to look at, and hey, if it provides value, provides value. Doing all the colors, logos, a lot of work. Again, I was like, I got to stop spending time on this. But I thought it was cool. All right, I'll stop there for a sec. Go to chat. What's up, Alex? Welcome. Want to meet? What's up, Logie? Appreciate that. Armando got the drum roll. Sorcery BTFT. It does look kind of cool, honestly. Like it's pretty. It's simple how it works, but there's a lot of work to get it looking like this and like getting it the feel, get the scroll, just like little things you wouldn't even think that are a big deal. Like just getting the little window on again, this is all from scratch. It's all HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python in the back end from scratch. Just getting the window to like line up and align stuff was just, I don't know. I don't really like spending hours on little details, but every once in a while you do. No. Tooth. No fatigue shares. Shut up, no fatigue shares. Good to see you, man. No food emojis in the chat. There are emojis on the website. Funny enough, you can make a coin apparently with emojis, and it will show up. There's a moon thing. Oh, it's not going. Why is it not going? I don't know why. You should be able to click on it. Maybe it doesn't like JavaScript or something. But there, you will see cabbage stuff. I've seen like cabbage stuff. I've seen moons, all kinds of crazy emojis in there. So let me. Logie says, is the table on the right and the number of transactions per block per block? Yeah, so neither. This is just the number of transactions that the last, so let me put on the help thing again. It's the last 1,000 transactions that since I started the server, basically. So when I start the server, it starts gathering all these transactions. It's got a stream of transactions. This is the last 1,000 transactions that's showing you on the screen and the stats for the last thousands. So when new transactions come on that are different than the previous ones, you see these numbers, they go up and down. They don't just go up. They go up and down. They adjust based on the last 1,000 transactions. That was like a whole other like, God, how do I do that type of thing? So yeah, this is not by epoch, not by block. This is literally what. So again, the server's been running for a while. You can basically, at a certain point, you could say these are the last 1,000 transactions that it's seen, and the counts and stuff. From you see DAI, went to 102, 101 from 102, all that. So yeah, it's a little different the way it works there. No training, Sarah. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. I'll say that. So again, any questions, put them in. I'm going to walk through how it works because you can set this up yourself. The code is open source. I've open sourced it here. Did I put that in? I think I put it. I'll put it in the chat again just in case. I'll walk through a little bit how it works. So PLS Watch. That is, remember, if you were here at the beginning of a conversation, PLS Watch is the command line version. So what I did was I took the command line and I said, hey, I have all these DEX transactions coming across. I have all these lines of transactions, basically. I know I can put them on the web. I know I can make some kind of like real-time thing with it. How do I do that? So that's why I figured out, okay, I can use a Flask app. Flask is just basically, again, allows the data to be displayed in a browser. It takes Python stuff. It lets you start a Python server and let you do HTML and JavaScript and stuff and use Python to interact with to making web stuff. I've written Flask apps before. They're awesome. So that together and the help of Nginx, which is just it's a web server basically. It's a very specific use of web server. You can use it many, many different ways, different than Apache and all that. You can do that and basically forward traffic from Nginx. So it comes in, and I'll go through the whole process. Traffic comes in, it hits Nginx from plsnow.net, then it routes it to the internal server that's running. And then that data goes back and forth and it comes the website, comes PLS Now. So technical level, let's go through that for a minute. This is exactly how to, pretty much how to set it all up. I'm sure there's some little nuance in between, but set up the library, again, to be able to use this stuff. Turn on web mode, change the application to wherever the scripts are. And of course, it's like after you download the code and the JavaScript and stuff like that. I don't imagine people are going to actually like clone the site and do exact JavaScript because it's like pretty much, it's like the same as it's what's on there now, PLS Now. But this is, I'll get to the index and stuff in a minute. And then Flask, install Flask. You can add another user, security stuff. G-Unicorn. So this is just to help scale out the application. So you can run different threads. You can, forward everything, all that stuff. I went through all this different configuration, fine-tuned it to get this. And then DNS. So you can get a domain. You can set the domain to whatever server you're hosting at. For example, AWS is a lot what I use a lot. And then set that to the IP address of the server that's running this code. Could be at home, could be in cloud, whatever it is. That's just, I think most of the time you use cloud for web servers and stuff. And then Nginx. Again, this is all specific stuff for the configuration, how to forward it to the internal Flask site. This is more security stuff of just making it like, if anyone tries to give it some crazy URLs or whatever, it'll redirect them to outside the website, all this stuff. I'm not going to go through all these details. Let me know if you have any specific questions, but and then getting a TLS certificate, again, pretty cool. It's like super automated these days. You can Certbot and let's encrypt and stuff. And then one interesting thing is anonymizing the logs. That's something that Richard tweeted about, like, hey, people talked about too, not keeping IP addresses, not keeping personal information, and like helping users' privacy when you run websites or run dApps or whatever. And there's actually a way you can do it. I never even thought about doing it for a server. I never even thought how to do it, but I was like, I know it's got to be simple. So with Nginx, you can literally just like create your own anonymized log format. So it's just logging the connections and the times and where they went and stuff. But it's preserving the privacy. There's trade-offs back and forth. Again, you may need to do this and that in different situations. But if you're interested in doing that kind of thing, it's pretty cool. And it's good for user privacy that people can use the website and not show up and all their personal information be out there and stuff. So that's how you do it. That's how you use all the stuff. That's how it works in the back end. Look at the code real quick. So again, PLS Watch is the command line app that does all this stuff. It was forked from the Uniswap v2 swap Slive code from the Ethereum DeFi, Web3 Ethereum DeFi. And yeah, I'm not gonna like explain each part of the code, but yeah, feel free to browse it, see how it works. It basically looks at the swaps, look at the new pairs, LP stuff too. So the website, I don't have it showing new LP pairs right now. Although if you use the command line app, it will show you new LP pairs that are added to the different to DEXs as well. I can turn on the website, but right now I'm just going to use the website for swaps. But if you use the command line app, you can see LP pairs. See right here, new pair liquidity event. It'll give you the transaction for that stuff too, which is pretty cool. Also, DEX screener will show you like different coins that when they add liquidity and stuff too. You can see that I made a tweet about that the other day as well. And then let's see, PLS Now. So PLS Now, again, is the Flask app. This takes the Python app. It literally runs it. It says, yeah, that's for killing it, restarting it. Where are we at? Subprocess. It literally goes and runs this app, and then it parses the data that comes from the app and then puts the lines. So it's literally running the command line app. This is like way different than the Anvil apps, which is like Python on the web, which is really cool. I'm just not much in Anvil stuff, but very, very cool. I've used it before. Dip catchers, all those guys love it. Sloth, GIF as well, I think. But this is literally architected on a server. It runs the Python app, and then it parses the data from the Python app and puts it in closest real time as possible for the code on the website for you to browse. Boom. Like if you don't know anything about tech, if you know something about tech, you're like, whoa, that's very different than a lot of things. I was like, yeah, there's got to be a way to do it. Why not do it? I think it's cool. It's interesting. So it runs that, parses it, and then it's got different little things you can see here, like tokens. So if I duplicate it, go to tokens, just give like a little, let's do raw data. Yeah, it'll give just like a list of the tokens and counts and stuff. And that's what you see here. It's just taking the data that's getting from token counts, and it's just putting it here and sorting it and making all pretty and stuff. And so that's what you see in the code. And then stream is just a stream of transactions. So if you go to stream, you can get a raw, this is like raw data the website's using. So if you go to stream, you can wrap up here in just a minute. No, it's going to show it, or okay, maybe it's not going to show stream. I'll just cancel it for now. Anyways, if you go to stream, it should show like a bunch of this raw transactions that's parsing through here. And yeah, that's where it's pulling data. So stream is pulling. So this is pulling from stream, the stream of transactions, and this is pulling from tokens. So it's getting a list of tokens, getting accounts, keeping those up to date in the background, and this is keeping the transactions here too. So, and again, no guarantees. Data may not be accurate or good or whatever. It may stop working. No guarantees whatsoever. But yeah, I think it's pretty fun to work on. Let me just refresh too. Yeah, you may have to refresh. I don't. For some reason, it looked like it was stalling right there, which is interesting. Maybe, yeah, it's not the most high performing thing because there's a lot of the pieces that come together to make it like this. So if you ever see if it's like not updating lines, I'm gonna click refresh, I guess. Like it may be a browser thing. Yeah, like I said, I'm not spending more time working on it. I think it works pretty well the way it is. PNU, don't know what that is. 9-inch ink, cool. All right, let me go to chat real quick. Something, how fast is bringing in data? Because you have API to read the data in real time. So that's kind of what the stream is. How fast is it bringing in data? Well, let's click on this last one here and see. So that was 18 seconds ago. So I would say anywhere from, if you really want to read the data, that would be stream. And for some reason, I don't think stream's gonna, let me try stream again. I wanted to download it. I'm like, I don't want to download it. I'm going to just show me in the browser, but I think it's just so big. Yeah. I think it's just, I'm not going to show it here but if you go to it yourself, you can see a stream of like 1,000 transactions or whatever. And that's the stream of data that the website is reading from to display it here. So yeah, let's click again. I would say 10 to 20 seconds, within 10 to 20 seconds, real time in that frame. So yeah, it may not update. I don't know. Sometimes I think transactions are just, yeah. Like I said, you may need to refresh every once in a while, but I think that's displaying on the website. The stream should be more up to date, should be faster than what's on the website. And that's kind of the API you would use essentially. It's not really an API, it's just a JSON endpoint. Just like tokens is a JSON, you can call it a JSON endpoint. What's the difference? API, JSON endpoint is like, they both have data that gets served to people who ask for it. So you can think of it like that. But yeah, /stream would probably be faster than what gets displayed here. If that makes sense. So what else we got? The last transaction, top or the bottom? Oh, bottom. Yeah. So it's supposed to scroll for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, having to hit refresh here. It should just be scrolling. It should just as they come up, but there may be a lag in when it takes the data and when it displays the data. So again, if you don't see it, if you see it stop scrolling, refresh should give the latest data. Let's click on this one real quick. I got to wrap up. What's it say? So block behind the actual time. There's no number that I'm setting in there to be a certain delay. I'm just kind of like guessing from clicking on it, clicking around. Yeah, 11 seconds from this one. So you could say with some of them, I would say within 10 seconds, but again, I don't want to guarantee anything. 10 to 20 seconds. But again, if you hit the stream, if you do, like I said, I can't show it right now. If you go to this URL and it loads in your browser, that should be the latest. That would be the JSON endpoint, the API or whatever. And I would say within 10 to 20 seconds, if everything's working properly, that should be how fast it updates and has fresh data. That's what I would think. Pulse list. They have something, they have some kind of data stuff on there too, maybe. Say they do. Anyways, any other question? I'll take one more if anyone has any. Besides that, I'm going to wrap up. Love, don't know what that is, but they're trading love for PulseX. Well, maybe they're showing love to PulseX, one of those. I think I covered everything. Yeah, security model, again, it's pretty good. Infra side, restricted access, firewall. There's no input on the app. It's only like reading from the command line app and displaying on the website. So it there's a bunch of things I've did, and I've some of the Nginx config too that's on the open source on the README helps lock down a lot of stuff and prevents people from trying to do unintended things too. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So that was my fun project, and appreciate that, Alex. Appreciate that. Yeah, feel free. Visit every once in a while. Have it up, leave it up for a while. I kind of want to see. I was telling Vince to like leave it up for a day or two. Just leave it in a browser tab and just kind of testing my server to see if, again, if you do any stress testing, no guarantees. I didn't make this thing to be bulletproof as far as like that kind of stuff. But I would be curious if I had like 10, 20, 30 people visiting at one time, what kind of CPU and memory usage the server will be doing. Hopefully be able to handle it, but I need to test it myself. Good morning, MA. Appreciate that, man. Congratulations, love a new tool for you. Yeah. I mean, even if it doesn't, I like it. I think it was a fun, cool thing that I did to learn. Again, good for learning, good for intellectually challenging and stuff like that. And no promises for updates, no promises for implementing feedback or anything like that. So I'm probably not going to work on much more, but I'm going to leave it up for a while. As of now, I'm going to leave it up, let people play with it. I may leave it up forever, and I may not leave it up forever. Let's just see if people like using it. And again, maybe as Neil was saying, maybe the API, or if anyone wants to, again, the code's here. If you want to stand up your own instance of it, go to the code. Code is open source. Feel free to fork it, all that stuff. The JavaScript's in here, the static, even the CSS, JavaScript code. Of course, you can get that from Business website if you were technical, if you want to grab that, but I put on here as well. All the JavaScript, all the pretty color stuff, basically, all that, and then the index page as well, just to kind of put everything in place. So feel free, open source code, nothing else. Pretty fun project. And I got another thing. I got a hex thing I'm thinking about and working on right now too. So I may have something else to show later on. So that's all I got. Scivive and 5555. We are out.